Welcome back to the channel. Got a new project here in the shop. Stepped up here just to get a little bit of a better view of it. It's a Sea Arc Sun Sport. It's their center console model. You can see I've already started stripping it a little bit. I want to take this boat and I want to gut all the fiberglass, all the center console parts out of it, and start modifying it to do what I want. I really bought it because I wanted the boat and the motor, all the fiberglass inserts coming out. It's a 2072 aluminum boat. So I'm going to gut this thing out, put a dual forward console on it, and a wide open back, rod racks across the back, and make this a catfishing boat. That's pretty much all I do anymore is catfish. So we're going to set this up just for catfishing. So hang around. It's going to take a little while. It's probably going to be a multi-part set of videos to get all this done, because I got a lot to do. And I'm not going to film every bit of stripping this boat down, so I'm going to get the console out of it, get all these rails, seats off of it, get the fiberglass pulled up out of it, and then I'll come back with a little bit of an update. But so we're jumping forward a little bit. I've done a lot. Stripped all the fiberglass out of it, all the wiring out of it, the motors off of it, completely stripped it down. The hull was just nasty black, so I took it out back and pressure washed it, and we're ready to start cutting and moving stuff. So I didn't really feel like I needed to film all the demolition of this thing. I still don't have 100% of my plan worked out yet, but we're getting there. I originally was going to take these boxes off the side completely, but I'm actually thinking about using this one and keeping a rod box on the side, and I'm unsure of my plans for that one yet. I may leave a piece of it, like maybe from there to there, or maybe there to there for a storage box. We'll see as I get into this. But I did remove the fuel tank because we're wasting a ton of deck space, pretty much from the level to this piece right here is just wasted floor space covering the fuel tank. So I'm changing my game plan on that. I originally wasn't going to do that. I'm going to buy a belly tank and put up about midway in it, under the floor that I'm going to put in it. Put a belly tank, push a little weight forward, and then what I'm looking at now is this piece right here is going to move back to where the level is, and that opens me up about 1.5 feet of floor space, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're 6 foot wide by 1.5 feet, that opens up a whole lot of room. And we'll try to maintain 2 storage boxes, one there and a storage box there. So the next steps for me, I'm going to work on getting this piece right here cut loose, cut it, shift it back to where the level is, weld it back together, and then I got some holes to patch because we're not using these drain holes. They were there to drain that fiberglass insert. There's one on the other side. I got to patch those, and that was the drain for the bait tank that was up in the front, and that's not going back there. So I'm going to patch that. And it's had so many transducers mounted on the back of it over the years. All these grind spots. I'm going to go through and just patch holes up and get this transom back solid with no screw holes and start fresh. So I got the bulkhead cut loose and moved back. I gotta get in there and cut that. That's a fuel tank bracket. I'm gonna cut that out. I haven't welded nothing in place yet, but that's where we're going with this thing. So it was attached right there and right there. And moved it back to here. So once the floor is in, you'll be able to walk all the way back to this point in the boat. Pretty much to the back. And I have storage right there and storage right here. I gotta come back and get this thing all squared up and weld them back together. And that gave me support under that. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so we're jumping ahead a little bit here from the last little update I did. Last time I think there was those boxes were down each side, and I was trying to use them, and then I just stopped because they weren't working for me. So I pulled them out and just opened this thing up wide open, and I was really happy I did. I'm running with this now. I'll get I'm working today cutting all my floor bracing. This is the tank I bought, a flat belly tank. I'm putting it up in the front of the boat. This is staying the same. I'm just going to deck that over, put a hatch cover, anchor box. That has not changed one bit. I'm keeping that just like it is. And I've started cutting. None of these are really in place. They're just laying in here loose. Cutting floor bracing to go across. And we're going to do a step up. This back floor, I know the lighting is probably terrible with the sun. The back floor is going to stay really low. This piece right here, I'm going to end up chopping it up and making it sit down in there pretty flush with the floor. And I'm going to put a step up because I needed room for the gas tank. And from roughly about the step forward, maybe a little above it, forward is going to be a closed, not completely enclosed cab, but a cab. And then when you come out the cab, you're going to step down, and you've got 6 foot from about right here to this back wall. You have a 6 foot low floor in the back, wide open for fishing. And then if it's raining on us, from this step up right here forward, we'll be under roof. So I've got the back floor braces in, the low ones, and I've started bracing them up. And we're not done. I got to put some cross sections in. But I've stopped. I need to take a few minutes. The gas tank's going right here. And it's sitting on these 2 cross members right here. You know, it's unsupported in the rear. Pretty much unsupported in the front. I feel like I need to put a pan down for the gas tank, just something to support it in place. And I'd rather do that now before I put all these floor braces in, because that's just, I'm going to have to work in between them then. So I'm looking at taking this old street sign, and no, I did not steal it. We picked up a handful of street signs from an equipment auction one time. It's just one I had left over. And I've got another one I'm going to use in another spot on some decking. But I think I'm going to take this tank out and chop this street sign a little bit and see if I can't make a pan that fits to the bottom of this tank, and then put it back over in here and cut some more little supports like I did for back here, and make some legs for this tank pan, and make a good solid stand for this tank. Really unsure how I wanted to do it. I've just been kind of looking and thinking, and I'm going to try that and see how it works. And as soon as I can get this tank supported, I can go right back to putting floor braces in, and I'm going to make a small hatch above the tank in case for some reason I have to pull the tank out, that I can lift up out the floor and work on the tank if I need to, or even pull the tank out if it came to that. So we'll get going on this and see how it goes. I don't really know how this is going to go. I'm going to try it and hope I don't completely waste a street sign trying to make this tank pan. We'll see what happens. So yesterday I had to stop what I was doing, but I was working on this pan. So we're back in here today. I've got this thing bent out. It fits, it forms to the bottom of the gas tank. And it wasn't quite long enough, so I took the other piece of the sign that was left and got the length I needed. So I'm gonna tack this together, and that's my pan for the bottom of the gas tank. Alright, so that's tacked together. And it actually fits up real nice on that tank. This right here, this bulkhead, was up in the front of the boat, about right here. It went across, that I removed. You can see where the rivets were, right there. So I took that out. I've already split it. It's in two, and I'll chop this thing up and make it work.
Right.
With this transition. Floor will sit on it in the front, and then I'll have to come in and weld a piece of probably square tubing on that for this rear floor to sit on. But it's great because I can reuse something out of the boat. I'm gonna take it out now though. Already got a line mark on it. We'll cut it off. It'll come this way, tight. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, sit it in. They're gonna overlap, but that'll give me a line. I can put a line on it, cut them to length, and bring them out, weld it back together, and that's gonna work out good. This is what we're looking at. Got it cut. My angle, I need to grind that off, and I'm going to adjust this angle just a little bit. I just guessed at it. And that'll close this gap up. But that sits good. Plenty of room. For me to weld a piece on the bottom from a floor to sit on. And then I just need to cut the other one the same way. Got that cut. I'm really liking this. Cut out to fit. Fits good on the sides. Now it's still in two in the middle. So about done for the day. Tomorrow I'll clean that up, weld that center together, and that can be mounted. Pretty happy with that. Alright, so I'm back in the shop today. See if I can make a little more progress on this. Hadn't done anything more at the front. I did get this mounted. Got it fitted in place. Cut in two. And welded back together. And I got this step put in on the bottom of it right here. For my flooring to sit on. So that worked out really good. That's in, ready to go. Got all these cut. I'm gonna jump over in here now and start welding these braces in place. Got the rear floor, all the supports in place to the back of the boat. That's going to be the step up right there. And then signs the base plate from the gas tank. And this level right here, and this level right here, that's where I'm going to put a hatch. That's getting cut out. And of course, I used one scrap piece of aluminum that I salvaged. And of course, this hits right where I'm going to have to weld one of the supports for the hatch, of all things. But no big deal. I'll cut it out and clean it up.